Hi, welcome to another episode of Steaming Pile with Lauren and Tucker. I'm Lauren,
And I'm Tucker.
and it's Monday again. So I don't know about you, but I just have like nostalgia on the mind because I've been binging Cobra Kai for the past 2 days.
There you go. I thought Cobra
Yeah,
Kai was a newer show.
it is. It is.
Oh.
It came. I think it came out originally in like 2018, on YouTube Red of all places.
Ah, yeah.
But moved to Netflix, which means and like season three just dropped, so everyone's like I've seen a video about it, and I'm like, okay, maybe finally I'll watch it. And I have no connection to the Karate Kid at all. I don't think I've seen that movie all the way through from start to finish in a single setting.
Hmm.
But I can't stop watching it, and I don't know why.
I mean, I've heard good things about it. Is
Yeah.
it? I mean, how related to it is it to the Karate Kid?
I mean, like it's a sequel to the, I would argue, original movie. I don't know how much it ties in the sequels all that much. I think a plot point from a sequel is referenced. But it basically takes like, the final fight between Ralph Macchio and the blonde kid, and it's like that one crane kick ruined the blonde guy's life. And it's 30 years later, and it's sort of like, it's just going through that. It's like his life was ruined. Ralph Macchio's fine, but he's like, no, I'm gonna put my life back together because I can't stand Ralph Macchio. So honestly, of the like 80s sequel properties, it is among the best
There you
and
go.
has done bizarrely well for a show that came out on YouTube Red.
Yeah, I think of all the shows that have come out on YouTube Red, that's probably the only one that I've heard do well and not be any like have any like modicum of cringe to it.
Yeah, it weirdly evades the cringe. And it's such that because it's all that's on my brain, like I want to talk about it long form because it so expertly dodges like the 80s nostalgic cash grab trap.
How so?
And it well, because it any partially I think because it's a series. And so it's not just 2 hours and so throwaway gags aren't just throwaway gags. They become like plot points that carry throughout the season. Um and I think it helps that the focus is one of the actors from the original thing.
Hmm.
And it's like a different perspective on all of it because, Johnny Lawrence sees the events of Karate Kid way different than Daniel LaRusso sees them. And so, like, he has a good arc, one of like bitterness and redemption and trying to figure out what his purpose is. And it does the critique of the 80s very well because like Stranger Things started out as like kind of being very blunt with like, yeah, people were dicks in the 80s. And but then like as the show went on, it kind of like fell into more of the tropes of that, and it became like, remember this from movies. But with this, I think partially because it's set in the present, it does a better job of like, yeah, what does happen if you tell a bunch of like hormonal teenagers just hit people, break their legs, get what you deserve.
This sounds like a pretty good show.
It is. And
Yeah.
it balances like 80s cheese and pastiche with like genuinely decent dramatic moments. Like it's not high art or anything. But again, I'm almost done with the second season. And because it's all half-hour episodes, it's super easy to just watch it all at once.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. It does sound like one of those shows that's easy to binge, just because the story. It sounds like, and again, this is just based on the only things I know about Cobra Kai are the things you've told me in the past 3 minutes. It sounds like it's like the story is fast paced enough that you just kind of once you dig into it, you kind of can't let go of it until you fall asleep on the couch.
Yes. And it's self-aware enough. Like there's a scene where Johnny and Danny, they're mad at each other, so they're gonna fight. But Daniel LaRusso's wife comes out and she's like, hey, yeah, as much as I would love to see my husband duke it out with his high school karate rival, I really would not like to get blood on the patio. And just
Uh,
hearing like high school karate rival, it's like, yeah, that's about what we're dealing with. But we're on board. We've already
yeah,
bought into it this long.
yeah, no, and again for being a YouTube Red original, which I can't imagine anyone had very high hopes for, even the people at YouTube. It sounds like it's taken off. It sounds like it's one of the better ones. Top
Yeah.
3 of the ones that come to mind. Top 2.
Yeah, I don't even know that many shows that YouTube Red put out. And really, the only ones that I know, it was either because someone I watched was a part of it, or someone I watched tore it to pieces.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I know that, like,
it.
Rhett and Link had a show, but then, like, Liza Koshy had a show. And I know Pyrocynical watched all of Liza Koshy's show and just tore it to pieces.
Pyrocynical, just, there's nothing left of that show after he torched that thing.
No.
It was beautiful. I love to see it. And that was not a good show. It was just, it all comes down to the lazy writing, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if you're willing to pay a writer to put in the work, that does a lot. That's a lot right there, because we can see that effort was expended.
Yeah.
And we are willing to give, like, the good faith of, like, oh, you're trying, you're doing okay. Because that was how, like, my fiance and I felt about Blood of Zeus, which was a Netflix animated show. And it was from the same people who did Castlevania. We loved Castlevania. And so we were expecting, like, that going into it. And it wasn't. It was really lazily written. But we were like, oh, we want you to be better. So we're willing to give the second season a try whenever that drops. But, man, we knew the show was not going to be great when a servant came in to tell the king, "My lord, your wife has given birth. There were 2 placentas." I was like, all right, we know what show we're in for now. Yeah. No, because it was supposed to be, like, implying that the queen had, like, also been impregnated by a god at the same time. So just periodically we would look over at each other and we'd be like, 2 placentas.
2 placentas.
Yeah.
That's yeah. I wouldn't call it lazy writing, but I also don't know what I would call it. That's, yeah. I wonder if the fine folks over at YouTube thought that their streaming service would have any traction, and if people would buy it for any other reason than the ad-free experience.
I don't know, because I don't know if they're still trying to do streaming things. I think they do essentially documentaries, but about content creators. I don't think they're trying any shows anymore.
Yeah, and they always pick great content creators. But anyway, but like sometimes you think like, oh well, YouTube Red is, it's new, it's kind of up and coming, so maybe they're just, with the small stuff. But on the other hand, I think age has nothing to do with it, because if you look at something like Apple TV Plus, that is churning out some amazing content, on par with Netflix, I would say, better than Amazon Prime. Apple TV Plus gave us Defending Jacob. It gave us they selfishly bought the rights to the Peanuts Thanksgiving special, much to the chagrin of all the networks that used to run it. But there are a couple. There's this one movie, I didn't see it. It's an animated film. Has the word wolf in it. I hear amazing things about that movie. It's on my short list of things to watch.
Wolf Saint. Wolf in the Rain.
Yeah, closer to the second one. It's
like an anime, right?
No. It's a cartoon movie, but it's like drawn. The art style looks very like hand drawn and pencil. I haven't seen it.
Okay.
It's on my short list. I've heard from many of my cinephile friends that it is an amazing movie. And yeah, they were churning out a couple other things that look very interesting. And so you got to wonder, what is YouTube? What were they going for?
I think at first they were trying to be like, whoa, your content creators are making other things.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I could see that.
Yeah. Sometimes it worked, but I think sometimes, I don't know, it just depends, because from what I understand, like, Rhett and Link's show did okay because it was a little more scripted, but at the same time, Liza Koshy's show was scripted and it wasn't good.
Right. Yeah.
And then I think one show that a lot of people did enjoy watching, like regardless of how you feel about him, but like Scare PewDiePie was like the thing. And then
Hmm.
they dropped him. And so I think a lot of people dropped YouTube Red after that too.
I shudder to think that a big thing about YouTube Red was PewDiePie, and that's why a lot of people like, he's a fine content creator, but in terms of like actual show that you'd pay for, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. PewDiePie doesn't spring to
Yeah, no,
mind.
I, I'm not necessarily saying they did it because the show was like top tier high quality. I think
Sure.
they did it more as like statement reasons. But
Oh no, the reason they
um,
dropped him, sure, but the reason they made
yeah.
it, right? Like,
Oh yeah, this is money.
yeah.
I know that YouTube Red also tried the movie thing because they had the thinning and the thinning to even thinner or whatever it was called.
Was that was that Logan Paul?
It was. It was like a combination like Divergent, uh, Hunger Games SAT thing, where if you were dumb, you were executed.
Did Logan Paul get executed in this film?
um, I don't remember.
There was a second
I
one,
don't
so I
think.
guess not.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, because
unfortunate.
I think it was like a thing where he failed, but he got to like live or something.
Of
I don't
course.
pretend to keep up with his career.
That's fair. That's fair. He's doing
Was
Pokemon stuff now. I don't know. It seems far less toxic than the stuff he used to do. I don't
yeah,
know.
I he's made decent strides. I'm not gonna say that he's undid everything, but it seems like he's grown up a bit
That's very evident. Yeah, that's pretty clear to see.
because, and I can't remember who predicted this, but I think we're gonna see Logan progressively move away from Jake and try to distance himself from Jake because as Jake continues to just like slide further and further into just straight garbage, both as a person and just content wise,
Hmm.
um, I think Logan's gonna try and like reshape his image, and I think part of that is going to be at least professionally cutting ties with Jake.
That would make sense. The last I heard of Jake, he was leaving California to become a professional boxer or a professional MMA fighter, something along
Oh,
those lines. And it's like, okay, sure, I okay. The only reason I go back and see what these people are up to is generally because I see another video tearing them to shreds. And I'm like,
oh yeah.
this video was posted a year ago. I wonder what they're up to now. Because sometimes I go back and rewatch some of Nerd City's content. Rest in peace. He hasn't posted in a year,
I
but
know it's
he,
so good.
but like
Yeah.
I was watching like he has two of them that just tear Jake Paul to shreds, and
Hmm.
you go back and you're like, has Jake Paul changed? And the answer is yes, but not in all the right ways. So,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I think the last one I saw about Jake was probably from I think D'Angelo Wallace. Maybe when he was summarizing like all of the like influencers who were flouting all of the like COVID restrictions. Because I'm
I
pretty sure
started
Jake
watching
still
that. Yeah,
was. Yeah, I think Jake was still throwing parties and whatnot.
wasn't he also like looting stores at one point?
Yeah, yeah. Because I think he went out to like Scottsdale, and under the guise of protesting, they went and looted a cheesecake factory.
Of all the places to loot,
It's so white.
yeah. But what are you gonna find in a cheesecake factory? That's
Those
worth looting.
menus, man.
Well,
Just
I
take those
guess
menus, use them
they're
as
so.
insulation.
That's true. That's true. They're
Line
chunky.
your
They're chunky
cars.
menus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been to a cheesecake factory in a while, like a
I
really
don't think
long
I've
while.
I don't think I've ever been to a cheesecake factory.
I honestly can't remember if they're worth it. Like I remember, like they're okay, but they're nothing to write home about. It's like
They strike
it
me
feels
as
like a
like,
chain, but in a different
yeah.
class of like Chili's, Applebee's, and in a class of its own, Cheesecake Factory. But it's not better. It's just to the left, or like it. I don't know.
It reminds me a lot, just like conceptually, of like Fridays.
Okay.
Not so much Applebee's, but Fridays.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a fair point. I just it I, with do you go to a cheesecake factory because you want to go to a cheesecake factory? Or do you go to a cheesecake factory because it's close to the thing that you're doing after you go to the cheesecake factory?
That honestly makes a lot of sense. I could see it as being the place of like, yeah, we're gonna go here before we see, exit theaters. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's generally that's Cheesecake Factory. Their cheesecakes are pretty good if I remember correctly. But that makes
I
sense.
should
'cause
hope
it's in
so.
their
If they
name.
put it in their name, I should hope they were worth something. Although it is called Cheesecake Factory, it's not called like artisanal cheesecakes. So, it's like they've refined the process, but what have they lost?
That's true. That's true. Yeah. And cheesecakes, they're easy to make, but they're hard to make well. Or hard to make like, really epic, amazing cheesecakes.
I can believe that.
Yeah. It all has to do with like, the how creamy, but you don't want it too creamy, too aerated, too fluffy, because the egg will emulsify it and it'll get so much air in there, and it's a balancing act.
Yeah.
Cheesecakes are a balancing act.
I have a stand mixer now. I could try that.
Ooh, a stand mixer.
Yeah, I got one for Christmas.
Hell yeah, you can make anything.
I know.
It's going to save, and it's the best thing about a stand mixer is that it's dishwasher safe. The components, it's dishwasher safe. So you
nice.
you don't avoid using it because you don't want to have to clean it. You don't have to clean it. A machine will clean it for you.
That's always
just
good.
nice. Yeah.
Dishwasher safe is good.
Mm-hmm. I'm at the point now where it has to clear a very high bar for me to buy something if it's not dishwasher safe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting that way with clothes. If I can't put something in the washer and dryer, if it's like hand wash or line dry, I'm like, no.
No, that's not.
No. You don't get my $12.50 Forever 21.
Yeah. Yeah. That's you might call it laziness, might call it complacency. It's smarter. We've built these machines to do these things for us. I'm going to take advantage of that.
Exactly. And it's like, why? First of all, the fabric's never like expensive enough to warrant it. It's always places that are like Forever 21, H&M, Aeropostale, whatever. And they're thankfully putting the care instructions on the page that you're looking at. But it'll be like, rayon, polyester, hand wash. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. Gentle cycle at worst.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, because, and I never listen to that. It's like gentle cycle, tumble dry low. And I'm like, no, there's one setting and it is fast. And that is, if you can't stand the heat, you're going to Goodwill.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I did just find out the other day, and I can't believe I've been living here for about a year and a half now, and I didn't know this. Shame on me. I have a gas-powered dryer. I thought it was electric this entire time. I'm big stupid.
That's wild.
Yeah, right.
What?
It's not super wild. It's common, but I didn't know. I had no idea, and I guess all this time I was wondering why. The only time I use gas in the summer is to cook. Why is my gas bill so high? The answer is the dryer. I didn't know. Your mind seems more blown than mine was.
I never knew the dryers could be gas powered. I thought they were
Really?
all electric.
No. You got gas powered ones. Evidently, I think. Don't quote me on this. I think they have oil powered ones as well. That could be wrong because now that I've said it out loud, that sounds dumb. But if for some reason it's in my mind, there's like, oh yes, it's an oil dryer. Excuse me. Or maybe they just meant gas and, forgot a couple refining steps. I don't know. But, I can't believe I've lived here for so long and didn't know that my dryer was gas-powered.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. You learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Even though it's something I should have known, at least a year now. Oops. I don't know. I feel like I should be more attentive to that kind of thing. But it hasn't blown up yet, so
which
can't
is
get mad.
important. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess with gas dryers, that's a risk.
Well, I think with anything like gas related in your house, you run the risk of it exploding.
All right, love to hear it. Yeah,
What is the thing that like you have the biggest risk of it just exploding? I think it's more in houses, but is it the hot water heater?
hot water heaters generally won't explode.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying it's a thing that like, every house has a 60-40 chance of it exploding.
Right. I don't know if it's the most likely, because it took the Mythbusters tested this, and it took a lot
Yeah.
for them to, like, they had to disable the check valve, and they had to do some
Right,
other stuff
yeah.
to it in order to make it.
Yeah.
And it blew up. Believe me, it blew
yeah.
up. But
I've seen a video. I think it was on some like, awful video compilation. But it was like a hot water heater, it exploded, and it was like home motion sensor cameras essentially, and you can see like the living room, and then just white when it exploded, and it like blew 2/3 of the house open.
yeah, crazy high pressures.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder. I mean, I've never heard of like an oven or a range exploding. Never heard of a furnace exploding. Or a gas dryer. I mean, I've never heard of one of those exploding. It sounds
I know
like stuff's
dryers
just
can
safe.
catch fire.
Oh, sure, yeah, yeah.
I think things can explode.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can blow up your house with your stove if it's a gas stove.
Yes.
Because if there's a gas leak and you turn on the light, it'll explode. And I almost had that happen.
Oh. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Not too long ago, too.
Yeah, I think it was like, about a year and... Let's see. No, I don't still have it there. Because I have, like, my Joker ticket, and I know it was the night we got back from seeing Joker that it was a problem. So I think that was, like, November of last year.
Yeah, okay.
2019.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, and I bought, like, child-proof locks for all of the knobs on the stove just in case. It hasn't happened since, so.
So is the cat.
I think so. Yeah,
That
I think
makes
that was like
sense.
one of the first conversations we had on this podcast too.
Yep. I think it was. And it still makes sense to this day.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, yeah. Cats are gonna do that. Cats are gonna try to kill you. There's nothing you can do about it.
I know pressure cookers can explode.
Yep.
Because pressure.
That, yeah.
I don't know, like, how. Like, I understand how. But how it actually happens. Like, what goes wrong in order for that to happen? Like, do they just not seal the lid all the way? Do they not seal it properly? Do they... Because you can't really open it. And I can't imagine that someone would be like, yeah, I'm going to open this thing as soon as it beeps that it's done.
Yeah, I don't know. You gotta be, yeah, you're right. You can't open it. If the check valve fails and it just kind of boils itself into oblivion, that could be it. But I don't see a person triggering it themselves, right?
That would make sense. Is that it would have to be an accident.
Yeah.
I'm always fascinated by workplace accidents, and there are so many like morbid stories of like workplace accidents that fascinate me and horrify me at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you work around machinery, someone's going to get hurt. It's just
Yeah.
There's some violent machines out there.
Yeah. And just like the things you can fall into, the things that can get removed, the things that can just catch fire. When I worked at a refinery for a summer, I basically just read all of the like refinery failure documents of like basically reconstructing what went wrong. So like fires at certain refineries, things that exploded. It's fascinating. And it boggles my mind that like regular people, that like their 9 to 5 is just making sure those things don't happen.
Well, good for them. That's more of that, please.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that's we should have a lot of those people. there should not be a. Every time I think of the word deglove, I get so. I just I just shudder, just at the implications of just. Because that's the thing that can happen around machines that take things in at a fast rate, like lathes and chippers and uh, sanders. Oh god, just yikes! I don't like that word.
Declove?
Deglove.
Oh, yeah. That'll do it.
That'll do it.
Yeah, I hate stuff like that. Oh, like I love stuff. I love reading about it. I would hate to see like pictures or video. And
Yeah.
it's moments like that where I am stunned by like medical professionals and just people who can go into situations and they just like block the trauma in that instant.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, we'll deal with that at a different time, if at all. Here's what I know needs to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's again more of them. More of that. That would be good.
Yeah.
I just it's risky to work around these machines. But imagine doing all this stuff without the machines. I would say it's worth the risk.
Yeah.
Saves a
Yeah.
lot of horses.
Saves a lot of horses. And I would argue that in the long run, it is probably safer. Like, there's
Yeah.
at least, to some degree, I think the physical health of the worker is preserved, at least for a little while longer. That they're not
Mhm.
doing all this manual labor themselves.
I would think so. Yeah. Yeah. No. On average, I guess dangerous machines are safer than no dangerous machines. I agree. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Because, like, a crane ultimately has to be safer than, like, 8 guys doing it themselves.
oh, for sure. Oh yeah, without question. That. Yeah. Yeah. And just on the whole, cranes are really cool.
Yes.
Cranes are so cool, especially like those big sky cranes. They're just those massive
yeah,
towering
it's
structures building other massive towering structures.
It's wild.
Yeah. How do you even build them? Do you need a crane to build a crane?
What built
I-
the first crane?
Yeah, I imagine they build it on the side and then erect it, but I can't. I've actually never seen it. I've never seen a sky crane go up or down, right? Like that's. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah,
I'd love
no,
to
the
see it, though.
biggest like construction thing I've seen is when like for refineries they would bring in these massive cement silos. I think they have another name. But when those come in, it's like a huge truck going maybe 10 miles an hour, hauling this, massive cement tube. And it goes slow enough that you can have a team of like 8 guys walking beside it to make sure that everything goes okay. And when it would come through, like literally everyone in my hometown would like walk to town square to watch it come through because it was like a thing.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. I'd watch the hell out of that. It's a massive concrete structure on wheels.
Yeah, it's
Beautiful.
kind of cool.
Yeah. It is really impressive that when you think about how challenging those things are today, how those things were done in like in like just in recent history, let alone further history.
Yeah. When I read, because I'm like a slut for architecture, so when I read about like a house being built, and it's one of those like really grand estates, and it's like it was started this year, but it wasn't finished until this year. That blows my mind. That like it just takes that long to build a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or like I think Notre Dame took like 400 years to build originally.
Yeah, that sounds plausible. That thing's massive.
I don't remember
was
the
massive.
exact year.
Yeah, it had to have been like, I'm just going to guess 1600s. It's a wild guess based on absolutely no knowledge beyond Notre Dame as a church.
182 years.
Still, that's a long thing. There's some turtles don't live that long.
I know. It's, yeah, because stuff like that, it's always interesting that, like, it's enough of a thing that they want to take that long to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That there are some guys who were building Notre Dame that weren't going to see anything. And, like, they didn't even get to start it. They're just like, I'm going to start working on it. Now I'm done working on it.
Yeah.
Still just a big building.
Yeah, pretty much. It's incredible how fast you can build a skyscraper today, though. They're starting to 3D print buildings. That's wild.
What?
Yeah.
That's cool.
You can 3D print cement.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just... It's amazing that you went from, a bunch of people building the pyramids. How long do you think the pyramids took? Yeah.
I can't remember the dimensions.
Big.
Yeah. I'm going to go with like 120 years. Are we talking Giza specifically?
Yeah. Yeah, the bigger ones. I wonder if that's even known. How long it took to build the pyramids of Giza. I don't know.
Roughly 20 years.
Get out. Come
According
on.
to spectrum.ieee.org. Continue to cite. I don't want your ads.
If IEEE says it, then it's got to be true.
We must start with the time constraint of roughly 20 years, the length of the reign of Khufu, the pharaoh who commissioned the construction, who died around 2530 BC. Herodotus, writing more than 21 centuries after the pyramid's completion, was told that labor gangs totaling 100,000 men worked in 3 month spells a year to finish the structure in 20 years.
Wow, so that's really closer to 5 years, just combined manpower.
Yeah.
Huh.
In 1974, Kurt Mendelsohn, a German-born British physicist, put the labor force at 70,000 seasonal workers and up to 10,000 permanent masons.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. I imagine you could place the blocks faster than you can quarry them. Huh.
Yeah.
Wow, it's still impressive.
It is. Yeah. Especially since, like, they're really big.
They're massive. I'm gonna go see them because you can't appreciate the scale.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No. One of my favorite subreddits is megalophobia, just because I'm in awe of things that are just massive, and just like videos of blue whales going by boats.
Oh, yeah.
Kills me. I love stuff like that. And just like being able to see things, it's just huge, and it's so great.
Yeah, and even through those pictures, it's so hard to tell what the scale is. Like I think the only way you can appreciate it is if you're just right next to a blue whale, and just hold on to the boat, because who knows?
Oh yeah.
It's a whale. It won't feel pushing the boat out of the water. It just won't.
Yeah.
I think the blue whale's heart. Oh, I forget how long it is, or how large it is. But there was like something you compare it to. It was mind blowing, like the size of 2 school buses.
Yeah, I definitely, my first thought was like, it's however many school buses.
Yeah.
But I know that like the aortas or whatever, they're big enough that like a person can walk through.
Yeah.
Because at some museum they have like a reconstruction of a blue whale's heart.
That's insane. Just in the flow rate of blood through that heart.
Oh yeah.
That's just insane. That something that large can exist.
Yeah. Because, I mean, we think about, like, dogs. Sometimes when dogs, like, if they're too big, they just physically cannot support themselves. And the same thing happens with horses. horses can get to a size where their body just physically cannot support them anymore. And maybe it's easier because whales are in the water, and so they don't necessarily have to support themselves, but they still gotta move.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, locomotion through water, I would expect, is easier than locomotion through air.
Oh,
if you don't have right, like if you don't have legs, like
Yeah.
the fact, I mean, you can't even think like things that don't have legs but move on land. Snakes aren't really moving through air, right? Like they're moving through a sand fluid or something, right?
Mm-hmm. And like turtles, they just don't really move.
That's true. I have never seen a turtle move. So maybe I was looking at a rock though. I don't remember. But yeah, but even still, to move that mass, the amount of inertia, crazy.
Yeah.
The whale. The whale. It's a whale of a good time. Yeah. And then you have something like so small as an insect, a fruit fly. So same universe, yeah, but it's and same fundamental concepts of existence, right? In terms of like, it has a nervous system, it has eyes, it needs to eat, has a circulatory system.
Have hearts?
Yeah.
They're so small. Like, who was able to dissect like an ant and be like, yeah, there's its heart?
Oh no, yeah, people have done it. You can do crazy small dissections in surgery. It's really you gotta have steady hands, but it's really impressive.
That's crazy.
It's I know that I know that you can do that on, because I've seen ant anatomy, right? It's it's fine, right? But I can't imagine doing that sort of thing on, say, a fruit fly.
Yeah.
The amount of magnification it would take, because if you just see one flying around, it's like a pixel of vision. It's so small. So in order to like see and like open it, how do it work?
I don't know.
I'm curious.
I think the smallest thing I ever dissected was like a worm.
And those aren't very interesting on the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like once you like vacuum seal it and drain it, it is just like cutting open plastic.
Yeah. 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 I'm told they have 5 hearts. I haven't seen it.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Worms are certainly interesting creatures. They poop and then you can grow things. Thank you, worms.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Where would we be without the humble worm?
I don't know.
Exactly. A lot of I guess smaller creatures. And that's really interesting. A lot of smaller creatures contribute to the ecological systems that we rely on, and the larger animals just exist. They rely on the same systems. It's like the bigger you are, the better your life is.
Because the less you directly have to contribute to like bigger species existence. Because like for us, like even for animals that would ostensibly be on the top, they still exist in a system where humans, whether for necessity or for sport, will hunt and exploit them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, good thing nothing for sport hunts us
Yet.
That's pretty good. Yeah, so far, right? It could happen. All right, we keep coming back to monkey snatching babies. I mean,
this time I'm thinking of the Predator, because I think he hunted humans, maybe either for sport or for sustenance. But I didn't see Predator.
Oh, that would be pretty bad. That'd be pretty bad. Aliens come,
Yeah.
and we're just like, you know, it's the African Sahara to them. This entire planet.
Yeah. Yeah. That is the thing that like occasionally I do understand like that irrational fear of like, there's some things that we just can't do anything about.
Hmm.
And that's terrifying. Like natural disasters, I hate those because
Oh
there's
yeah,
nothing you can do. You can brace as much as you want, but there's no guarantee it will do anything.
exactly. Yeah.
Like we had a tornado warning a few weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago, and when my phone buzzed, like the National Weather Service can like work through any silencing of your phone.
Yeah.
When it buzzed, I looked at that and they're like, find shelter, tornado. And I'm like, I live on the third floor. There's no basement here. What do I do? And so I just like laid in the bathtub and I'm like, guess this is it.
That's all you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, there's, I am shocked that in such situations, like your complex has to have a basement somewhere, right?
Somewhere, yeah.
I, but I mean, if you don't have a basement, then yeah, third floor tub, it's as good as any place.
Yeah.
I don't know what the tub's going to do, but I've heard that advice.
It at least simulates being under things, I guess. Because I think one of the instructions is that if like you're in your car, you get to the lowest point possible, so you like pull off and hide in a ditch, basically.
That makes sense. But the tub, there's nothing covering you. In fact, you're covered on all sides but the top. And, given how gravity works, that's not great. And most tubs nowadays are just hollow aluminum, right? You could pick it up, much less a tornado. It's not like it's heavy porcelain with brass, paws as feet and an ornate sink. It's a contractor's tub. So
Oh yeah.
what's it going to do? Is it going to hold on to the plumbing? Ha! Oh, hilarious! Yeah.
The most I was hoping for is that if a car or a tree came through my window, it would not sail directly through me. That was all I was expecting the tub to do.
Yeah. Well, at least you have that. Thank you, tub. Thank
Yeah.
you. More than
Yeah.
just showers.
Yeah, because it's like a decent tub. Like I'm able to fully sit laid out in it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Most
no,
apartments don't have tubs that size. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but like tidal waves, those two. There's a scene, I can't remember what movie, but it's like a bunch of people in this glass building and they just see a wall of water coming for them. And I'm like, that's the worst.
Mm-hmm.
That's the worst. Because what can you do?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Hope. How long can you tread water?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think probably the most frightening of all of them is a moderately sized asteroid. Doesn't even have to be a big one. Size of a house can take out a continent. That sort of
Yeah,
thing.
that's a good
It's
point.
like,
Yeah.
yeah. Ah, yes. It's, winter for a century. Thanks, meteor.
No more global warming. Wow.
Hey, galaxy brain. But like I don't know if we've been I don't know if the Earth has been exceptionally lucky or if the probability, because space is so large and Earth is so small and asteroids are even smaller, if the probability is just so low that we're not lucky. It's just how that kind of thing is. I don't know. I like to think I hope it's not luck, but I mean, it feels pretty lucky that it's been around for a pretty long time. Well, not that long, but
Yeah.
I guess not as long as stars have been around, but as long as planets generally
Yeah.
have been around.
Yeah. I'm not sure because I feel like asteroids. There's got to have been there's at least one that we know of. There's probably 3 or 4 others just in the complete course of the Earth's history.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm always worried about. Well, I'm not always worried, but occasionally, since we're talking about it, I sometimes think about Yellowstone because that's supposed to just explode.
Oh,
and
yeah.
take however much of the surrounding states with it.
Mm-hmm. That's a big one. That's should have left that part of the country to France. Just let them deal with it.
Yeah.
That's a French problem. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's that's a massive volcano. Comforting.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, in a way. I mean, well, first off, I mean, as far as there's not, I feel like the bar for, there's nothing we can do about it in natural disasters is very, very low, right? Like, you can't do much about a lot. Like,
Yeah.
humans are probably reasonably technologically advanced, but even still, right? Like, you can't stop a tornado with an iPhone. So,
No.
like, have we been misplacing our technological advances? Have we been climbing the tech tree incorrectly? Is it perhaps better to control the weather than it is to have the internet?
I don't know, because the internet at the very least makes it possible for us to have better monitoring of weather activity.
Well,
And
that's
to warn people
preparing.
sooner. Yeah. Because I know there are some natural disasters that man plays some role in either causing or preventing. Like wildfires, a lot of that is forest management and not having baby showers with cannons in one of the most flammable states in the world. Hurricanes, lots of people talk about, like, climate change exacerbates hurricanes and makes those worse. Who knows? Is it architecture? Do we build better houses that withstand all of that?
Yeah, I mean, I know there's been research done into that. There are some weatherproof houses, like extreme weatherproof.
Let's just revert back to extreme brutalism.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, why not? But
Just all live in domes.
Yeah. Well, that'd be
Cement
cool.
domes, yeah.
Be like, cyberpunk Teletubbies. Which, in a way, was already kind of cyberpunk.
Yeah.
On the inside, that place was kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh,
Like
what was,
they
the,
had
what was the name of the...
integrated into their bodies? Yeah.
That's cyberpunk. The game right there.
It is.
What was the name of the vacuum? Nunu.
Nunu. Yeah.
Yeah. That was kind of that was a trippy cartoon. Or not a cartoon, it was just a show. It was very what point are you trying to get across to children? Like, is this educational? I can't tell.
I think the segments that they would watch were meant to be,
Okay.
at least marginally.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what the rest of it was for.
Yeah. Be cool if you could make an actual working Nunu. Like, we have Roombas, but they have no personality. If you could
Yeah, Michael Reeves tried that.
Yeah. Well, I can't imagine Nunu having that kind of vocabulary.
It'd be a halfway decent Teletubbies remake if Nunu cursed all the time.
Yeah. Instead, just started smoking. Wear tank tops and just be a dick to everyone.
Nunu, I think, would make a decent bong.
What?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know what a bong needs, though.
I think it would be uncomfortable for Nunu. I think it would be very uncomfortable for him. Just,
Oh, yeah, I'm not saying he'd make a good bong for his sake.
Oh, yeah. No. For the Teletubbies, because, Tinky Winky likes to hit it, Just,
oh, yeah.
I'll bet you he can roll a joint. Tinky Winky, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, it's Tinky Winky. Dipsy is the green one. Lala is the yellow one, and Poe is the red one.
Mm-hmm.
Although I'm not sure about the green and yellow. I keep getting them flipped.
I think Dipsy was the green one and Lala was the yellow one.
Oh, okay. All right. I remember as a kid, Poe was my favorite.
Yeah, I respect that.
Yeah.
I think,
Poe's cool.
and this may just be an urban legend that I have internalized as fact, but I want to say that there were some parents groups that were concerned that Tinky Winky was gay propaganda because his sign was the triangle and he carried a purse and wore a skirt.
What? The triangle?
Yeah, I think.
How does the triangle fit into that?
I want to say it was because I don't know if it has any other connotations. But like pink triangles were what gay people were forced to wear in like concentration camps.
Oh. Huh. Well, right. Of all the things that could be taken as gay propaganda from that show, the four sexually ambiguous aliens living in the same place with like I mean, come on, that's where you draw the line. Tinky Winky. Listen to the name, Tinky Winky. Oh my god. I don't know. I don't like to think about those kinds of things, like, besmirching the good name of the Teletubbies. How dare they?
I know.
It's, that goes beyond Rule 34. That's just mean.
That is a good point. Yeah. It's like, why are we thinking about anything sexual about the Teletubbies? That's not what they're designed for.
No, or I mean, who cares what they're designed for? It's not what they do.
Yeah.
I mean, they're humanoids with televisions in their stomachs. But in general, I think the Teletubbies was probably granted it was a weird show, but I think it had I keep saying had. It's not still on, is it?
I would be surprised.
Did they cancel
especially
the
in its like original state? I wouldn't be surprised if like one of those Flash animated cartoon versions existed now. Oh, but no, I think that show's been off the air since like 2002 or 1998.
Teletubbies. Time for Teletubbies. Time for Teletubbies. Ooh, I could watch now. IMDb only gives it a 3.8 out of 10. Unbelievable.
And we thought parents groups were besmirching the honor of Teletubbies.
Unbelievable. That is brutal. Okay, Wikipedia says, drumroll please while I scroll. What is this about? Oh my god, it was revived.
What?
Original series aired from March 1997 to February 2001, and it was revived in 2015.
Whoa.
Let's learn about this, because now I don't. Let's see. The original run ended in 2001. 60 new episodes were ordered in 2014. They are currently aired on CBeebies in the United Kingdom and on Nick Jr. in the United States. Reruns of the original series continue to be shown on television channels worldwide. The original series returned to live TV in the U.S. on Pluto TV on the 1st of May in 2019, but the episodes are shown in the UK format instead of the US, which is where the Pluto TV service is based, because everyone watches Pluto TV. The same error occurred with the series' availability on the Noggin app since 2016. That tells me nothing about the revival. Tell me about the revival. That's crazy. I can't believe they're still making it.
I mean,
it's... Huh. Yeah, it's new, but it's not spelled the way I thought.
Oh, is it N-U-N-U?
No, it's Noonoo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tiddly Tubbies.
Excuse me?
That's what
Don't click on it. Don't click on it. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't sound good.
It's essentially like Muppet Babies,
Okay.
but for Teletubbies.
Nunu is a sentient
They're
vacuum
horrifying.
cleaner who acts as both the Teletubbies.
They look like, oh gosh, who's that character? There's like a character in some animated, it might be a show. Yeah. Yeah. He looks like a bipedal dog.
Oh.
I don't know. I can picture him, but I can't think of any signifying details. We've gone too deep. Evil Teletubbies.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
What?
There's a whole Teletubbies Cinematic Universe, it sounds like. There's money here. There's money here. I feel like all the good
Okay.
children's television shows came from the UK.
So the wiki is the Unteletubbies wiki, and the Evil Teletubbies show, which is a 2015 TV series, don't know if it's real, is a reboot of the original 1985 Teletubbies show, created by the BBC to hypnotize yet another generation of pathetic and weak children.
Oh.
It stars the evil Teletubbies you all know and love, but worse than ever, the show predicted to be banned in anywhere from 20 to 25 years. Just like in the old show, the characters who die in each episode respawn after the episode's end, unless the next one continues where it left off. One of the pictures is captioned footage of the new series featuring the evil Tubbies scheming while eating evil Tubby toast, in parentheses, people in their evil hometown.
Oh my god. People. Just, people.
Due to the great Teletubby land massacre, the show has its differences from the original show, mostly to be down and hip with today's cool kids, spelled KEWLKIDZ.
Oh my god. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. There's no way that's real, but I really hope.
I want
hope
it to be.
that it is. I just want to wish it into existence. That's so
A
good.
field of new talking flowers has been planted. Unlike the old ones, these can speak 26 languages and don't have squeaky voices.
Good lord.
Episode 1, Season 1. We're back. ... And worse than ever. Alt 2.0 gives the Teletubbies the Tubby phone, which she created, which transports the Teletubbies into the real world where they go around killing children.
That's
The other Teletubbies try to potty train Poe and see things they can't unsee. One episode's called Playtime. Playtime is a very dangerous time. Tinky Winky blows himself up when playing with the Tiddly Tubbies toys, in parentheses, which are actual bombs.
Oh my god. This is amazing. This is so good.
Oh my goodness.
I gotta tell you, there's some people out there who just come up with some really great stuff.
It's so in depth. It has to exist in some capacity.
I need this in my life now. I need to know. I need to know what the evil Teletubbies like. What's their plan? What's their mission?
Yeah.
The Teletubbies Cinematic Universe.
The
I love
Teletubbies
it.
lie down on train tracks and get killed.
What?
Poe Clinton Part 1. Poe disguises herself as Hillary Clinton and gets elected for president. Poe part 1 of 5. The other 5 parts to air throughout 2017.
Oh my god. Okay. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I gotta say, this is my new favorite thing. This is so
I'm so
good.
glad we stumbled upon this.
Yeah. There's more to those little cuddly creatures than meets the eye, apparently.
Apparently.
Oh man, I don't know. That just tickles me. It just tickles me. Did it say anything about Nunu? Is Nunu also evil?
Occasionally.
Oh, go off, Nunu. Uh-oh.
Communism beat in the Soviet Union. Dipsy shoots Tinky Winky, Lala, and Poe with an AK-47, killing the first two. Poe redirects the bullets through Dipsy's head. Poe explodes, and Nunu does the Duck Hunt Dog laugh.
Okay, that's so good. That's so good. I love everything about this. I don't know. That's just such a great concept. There's no way you'll be able to get the rights to the Teletubbies to make something like that. But I feel like someone somewhere has to try.
Mm-hmm.
You never know
feels
until you
very
try.
old school. Like, if it weren't for the 2017 references, I would have assumed this was like a YouTube thing back in like 2009.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because this would have been right at home with the like salad fingers, Ultimate Battle of Ultimate Destiny. No, that's not the name of it.
Ultimate Showdown.
Ultimate Showdown, yeah.
Yeah. That yeah. They're all evil. I love it. Like, yeah. I'm gonna find the website later and see, just because it sounds like it sounds in depth. It sounds like they've constructed a whole universe.
Oh yeah, no, it was dense. There's a lot of lore there.
Hey,
6 seasons of lore.
6 seasons.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That's so many seasons.
I know. Yeah, with a bonus like season 0, so technically 7 seasons worth of content.
Ooh.
If it exists. It might just be a wiki that's out there that like tries to like reverse gaslight people into thinking that something did happen when nothing did. And it worked.
Hey, yeah.
I'm convinced it's a thing.
Maybe we were secretly programmed by the Teletubbies all along. Maybe they are evil and we just didn't know it because our soft 2-year-old brains couldn't comprehend all of the subliminal devil worship messages that we were being shown through the tummies of the Teletubbies.
Yep. It's like Candle Cove all over again.
Yeah.
We were watching static for 30 minutes. But for a show that ran on the BBC, it doesn't have this problem. But as an American show, we're funded by ads. Do we have a sponsor this week?
We do have a sponsor this week, and it goes back to the talk of the worm, the talk of all sorts of creatures, right? And it's a need that all creatures have. So, ladies and gentlemen, this episode of Steaming Pile is brought to you by LaxPass. Yes, it's exactly what it sounds like. Some days I just can't catch a break. Maybe the water just won't get hot enough in the shower. Maybe Amazon sent the wrong scent of hand soap for your kitchen sink. Maybe you were asked to pick up another shift at work on short notice. Why should a slow colon train be one of these inconveniences? See, With LaxPass, your lower intestines are primed to a DEFCON 2 in a matter of minutes. Accelerations approaching that of super colliders under Switzerland as that pesky Polish potluck becomes the sweet relief you've dreamed of for days. LaxPass is guaranteed to fill the need in an hour or less or your money back. If you go to laxpass.co.uk and use the promo code SteamingPile, that's quite apt, you can get 20% off your purchase. That's right. That's LaxPass. This year, the Browns are headed to the Super Bowl. Yeah,
That's
so
the best
thank you.
tagline.
Thank you, LaxPass. It's very generous of them to offer 20% off something that powerful.
I know. Yeah. That must have
good.
been what it was like when France when France sold all of Louisiana.
Just it's your problem now. All that relief. That's your problem now. Flush. Sometimes it's out of my control. I'm sorry for whoever has to deal with that next.
So generous. We love to see it.
Yeah.
Amazing. What a pile.
It's pile with evil Teletubbies. And I don't even remember what else we talked about. That was honestly enough for me.
I loved that. That was great. I would honestly be down to make that like the full video that we collaborate on of just falling down that rabbit hole and having to learn more.
Absolutely, yeah.
But yeah, we've sifted to the bottom of the pile. I think that went well.
Yeah.
This has been Steaming Pile with Lauren and Tucker. I've been Lauren.
And I've been Tucker.
We will see you all next time.
You're going to have to send me the link to that Teletubby thing.